Hello students, acolytes and apprentices of the Force. Welcome back to another Star Wars holocron. In the tempestuous times leading up to the climax of the Clone Wars, Anakin Skywalker, hailed as the prophesied Chosen One, found himself at a crossroads that would not only determine his fate, but the destiny of the entire galaxy. Anakin's journey from a heroic Jedi Knight to the Sith Lord Darth Vader was marked not only by his personal tragedies, but also by his growing disillusionment with the Jedi Order. A disillusionment that eventually convinced him of the Jedi's malevolence. The story of Anakin's transformation is deeply rooted in his complex relationships and the ideological battles that plagued the Jedi Order during this era. From the moment Anakin was brought into the Jedi fold, he was an outsider, his potential recognized but always coupled with caution due to his late start in training and the fear of his strong connections to his past. Anakin's sense of betrayal by the Jedi began in earnest with the death of his mother, Shmi. Forbidden to rescue her and later finding her only in time to watch her die, Anakin's frustration with the Jedi's restrictive emotions policy grew. He saw the Jedi's detachment not as wisdom, but as a cold disregard for the bonds that make us human, or in his case, humane. As the Clone Wars raged, Anakin found himself not in the role of peacekeeper, as he had been promised, but as a general in a galactic conflict that seemed increasingly futile. The hypocrisy of the Jedi was not lost on him. They preached peace, yet led armies. They espoused emotional detachment, yet displayed obvious political biases. His secret marriage to Padme Amidala only added to his inner conflict, as he lived a double life that pitted his personal vows against his Jedi vows. Anakin's mistrust deepened with the Jedi Council's treatment of his apprentice, Ahsoka Tano. Her trial and subsequent departure from the Order was perhaps the clearest indictment of the Jedi's failings in his eyes. They had abandoned one of their own, a clear sign to Anakin that the Jedi were not the infallible guardians of justice they claimed to be. The final straw came with the Jedi Council's handling of Chancellor Palpatine, whom Anakin had grown to respect and trust. When the Council asked him to spy on the Chancellor, it felt like a betrayal, not just of his loyalty to Palpatine, but of the very democratic principles the Republic stood for. And when Mace Windu attempted to execute Palpatine without a trial, Anakin saw it as proof of the Jedi's corruption and their desire for power, a fear Palpatine was only too eager to exploit. In the moments that followed, Anakin's actions were not those of a Sith seeking power for power's sake, but of a man who believed he was making the difficult choices necessary to save the galaxy, and more personally, to save Padme from the death he foresaw in his visions. The Jedi, in his eyes, had become the villains of his story, self-serving, power-hungry, and blind to the needs of those they swore to protect. Thus, when he declared that the Jedi were evil from his point of view, it was not a sudden descent into madness, but the culmination of years of disillusionment, grief, and a desperate desire to take control of a galaxy that seemed to be spiraling into chaos. To Anakin, turning against the Jedi was not falling into darkness. It was a step towards what he believed was a necessary order and peace. This narrative, steeped in tragedy and the fall of a hero, illustrates not just the fall of Anakin Skywalker, but the fall of an ideal, the Jedi as the incorruptible guardians of peace and justice. His story is a reminder of how perspective can twist our understanding of good and evil, and how even the greatest heroes can fall the farthest when they believe their cause is just. As we ponder Anakin's journey, we are left to consider the thin line between hero and villain, and how easily it is crossed when power, fear, and betrayal lead the way. This tale serves as a somber lesson in the Star Wars saga, reminding us that the path to darkness is often paved with what initially appears as light.